Hello everyone and welcome to the Social Media Mixer. My name is Stacy Kenny and I'm going to be your host this evening. Tonight we're going to cover the marketing basics that you must know in order to succeed with internet marketing. Now tonight's presentation is going to be brought to you by mybranding.system.com, which I'm very excited to be a part of. It's just one of the ways and the tools that I use to show people how to streamline their marketing efforts online, simplify your life, and it's just something I'm really excited about personally and love helping other people with this fascinating and wonderful tool. So Marketing 101, again, right? Some of you on this webinar may be thinking, oh yeah, I know the basics, and you know what? It's always good for us to go back and revisit some of this stuff. So let's go back to school a little bit tonight with the basics. Knowing the basics of marketing really just means implementing marketing strategies that are going to achieve those goals that you set. It's going to help you avoid falling into those same pitfalls that swallowed other marketers whole. And some of you might be able to relate to this. And a lot of what I do in these presentations, I can relate to myself. So these are all things that we're constantly working on to try to avoid those pitfalls. Sometimes the basics really do bear repeating because, as I said before, often we forget and we make these dumb mistakes that really hurt our efforts. We get off track, we lose focus, we forget some of the things that we learned, so it's always great to revisit it. For many people, actually, I think it takes multiple exposures for these concepts to really resonate with you before this lesson can really make sense. So people hate to be sold. I bet you can all agree with that. I absolutely hate when that happens to me. I get that phone call, I get that message, and I'm thinking, oh God, I know I'm going to be sold, right? Well, we're totally bombarded with these sales messages. I mean, everywhere we turn, it's so evident, with the internet and wireless devices, it's only increased the noise. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's on my email, I'm getting text, I'm getting Facebook messages, Twitter messages. It drives me crazy. So as a form of self-protection, people put up defenses against being sold. I mean, however, it's really funny because we actually like to buy things. And I think you can relate with that. People prefer to be in control of the process though. Even if that control is illusory. So this is where it's really important. By positioning yourself as an expert who's able to provide your prospects or your clients, potential customers, with the information that they need so that they can make their own decisions. That is going to be the best way to get people to invest in you, your products, your services, or your opportunity. If you try to sell your prospects, they are going to run away. So just put yourself in the other shoe. I mean, as a matter of fact, it just had it happen the last couple of days. I got that phone call and I'm just sitting there going, no. I've got that wall up. And that's exactly what I was thinking the whole time. I know you guys can relate. So you cannot be that person. Because what people actually want is they buy the cooking, not the frying pan. So what you are selling, it's just simply a medium to the customer so they can use this to accomplish their ultimate goals. So here's an example. Think about, you're shopping, you're out there, you're looking for some cookware. Maybe you're purchasing a new frying pan or whatever it is. Well, really, it's not the frying pan that, is trying to impress you. You want to be able to cook food. You want to be able to have those sunny side up scrambled eggs on Sunday morning. That's what you're looking for, is you want that. I mean, you could probably care less, what kind of frying pan that does this. Does it cook evenly? What it does. You just want the ability to cook your food, to scramble those eggs. So basically, all the customer is interested in is how the frying pan is going to help them cook edible food. The reason I underline help them, because that's what your customer is looking for. They want to know, how are you going to help me? That's what it's all about. You have to tie the benefits of your product and service with the goals of your customer. Example, the frying pan, it heats uniformly so that the food will cook evenly. Customers may love your personality, but they won't give you a dime unless you can show them that you're able to help them solve their problems. So you have to take the time to learn what the problem is so that you can properly address it. Now, success requires knowing your market. This is absolutely key and the foundation of everything that you're going to do. And this is why most marketers fail, for these two reasons. First of all, and I see it happen all the time, they think that everyone is their customer, okay? And they really don't understand their customer at all. For those two reasons alone, they fail. That's it. You're out of the ball game. Game over. So defining your target market is essential to successfully selling yourself and your business to potential prospects. You can't convince clients that you can solve their problems if you don't have any clue what their problems are. So one of the things that you need to really think about going down this road is really who is that target market, and get very specific about that ideal customer. You may even want to sit down, and I definitely recommend the whole little brainstorming session with a piece of paper and saying, who is my ideal customer? What is their age? What is their gender? Are they married? What is their income range, their education, status, any of those things? The more you can define exactly who that ideal customer is, the better. And then the next step is make a list of problems that your customers are trying to solve. What is their problem? And then how is your product or your service going to help them, solve? How's it gonna solve their problems? You can get ideas and inspiration. You can study other companies with similar products that are marketing it. I'll give you an example here. For like myself, and what I do is I identify people. The main problem that I see and what I can solve in helping people are simply overwhelmed with the thought of marketing online or blogging or social media. It takes too much time. I'm not technically able. I'm so overwhelmed. And that's exactly what my branding system offers in myself, is to be able to give you a simple solution, to give you a streamline, something that's going to make it effective for you, something that's going to work. So I can go out and say, well, here's my ideal customer, and here are the problems that they have, and this is how I'm going to help them solve their problem. Now, avoid falling into the trap of doing what everyone else is doing, okay? You have to look for ways that you can tweak your sales message so that it stands out from the tons and tons of other people, all that noise we were talking about. You have to focus on one group at a time. And this is, and I'm going to use myself as an example, because I could sit here and say, well, everybody's my target market. Everybody needs online branding and social media help. Well, you know what? A lot of people do. But I need to focus in on a certain group of people and then work on that single market and then adjust the message to fit different needs of each group. So why do people buy? Well, information on the psychology of consumer buying is so extensive. I mean, seriously, you could earn a college degree in it. Consumer psychology is the topic of thousands of books and training courses. However, all of it can be boiled down to two major goals, and you've probably heard this. Really, it comes down to what is your pain and what is your pleasure. Really, that's what it comes down to. That's what people are trying to solve. So when you're thinking about all of this and identifying your target market, you also have to say, what is the end goal in mind? And that's how you have to sell. People buy with an end goal in mind that will either alleviate the pain or provide them pleasure. That's what they're looking for. So identifying your target market exposes the things that causes them pain and pleasure. So that's what you're looking for. So you have to actually design your marketing campaign so that it focuses on how your product or service is going to help that buyer alleviate or provide them an opportunity to experience pleasure. So what is the sales formula? Well, most advertising follows a formula based on the goal of pain avoidance. This is probably the number one. Pleasure, yes, that's great, but most people, especially when they're looking online, when, whatever it is, you say, I have this problem, I'm looking for the answers, I need a solution, I need a tool to fix this, I need to be more efficient, I'm looking for this, product or medicine or ailment or whatever it is. It's usually a problem. So exposing that pain is really one of the first things that you want to do. And take the frying pan and whatnot as an example, the embarrassment of poorly cooked food or the aggravation of the pain. Let's say you're getting that side eye from the mother-in-law, and you all know what I'm talking about. But providing the solution that's going to take away that pain, okay, so that pan is going to heat evenly. That's what they're looking for. You can pay attention to the commercials that come on TV, and you will quickly notice how true this is. Take luxury cars. They're marketed as helping people avoid the pain of being ordinary, right? They're trying to show you, you want this because you want to be above and not so ordinary. And I really think then that's also the pleasure button as well. The alternative formula is based on achieving pleasure, like I just mentioned. So you have to identify what that pleasurable experience is. And if we're using the car example, that's why the car salesman, they want you to get in the car and test drive it, because they know you're going to feel it, you're going to smell the leather, it's going to drive beautifully, and you're going to experience that pleasure, and you're going to want to buy. So that's the best example I can come up with now. But, building on that fantasy and that pleasurable state, as I just mentioned, showing how the product is going to help them achieve that by driving that car, they can see it, they can feel it, and that is selling on pleasure. You can take a look, and you probably see a lot of this out there. I don't know if you do, but I do. All these make money online blogs and capture pages and whatever it is. But they sell their products based on the fantasy that you can make six-figure incomes doing no work. Okay, but that's how they get people's attention. You and I both know that's crazy and not true. Something for nothing, not going to happen. But that's how they get the attention. Now, talking about getting attention comes down to good copywriting. Copyblogger.com is an excellent blog to read, because then you're gonna really understand more about how to write copy that sells, how to write those attention grabber headlines and articles that get people over there reading them, which is important. You've got to get people interested. Now, the sales funnel. This is an important process as well when you're talking about, you've got your target market, identifying, and then just the sales process. How is it going to work? How is it going to be laid out? Well, the sales funnel is just a list of steps that the customer takes from the moment they first show interest to the follow-up after they make the purchase. So identifying these steps is going to be very important for two reasons. It is going to help you develop strategies that get customers to take the next step. That's what it is. It's always about moving them a step further, closer and closer to the sale. It's going to help you separate tasks into those that make you money and those that don't. Okay, so it's very important here. And a lot of times, entrepreneurs, and I have fallen in this trap myself, you have to identify those that make you money and those that don't. The tasks that do not make you money should be automated or outsourced, so that you can concentrate on the tasks that are going to generate you income. That is key. I almost feel like it's worth repeating, but I think you guys can get it. It's definitely important. You should only focus on those things that are going to make you money and learn to outsource and automate them. It took me a little while to get that. I was a little bit of a control freak, but I have learned to do it, and it has definitely changed my life in so many ways, and made me more successful as well, to be able to delegate, really. Now, you have to look at the sales process through the eyes of your customer. and identify ways to improve that retention and that conversion. It's almost like you need to sit there and say, when you're brainstorming and you're writing all this out, as if you were that customer and you've got to feel that pain. What is that problem? What is this going to do? What is going to be the solution? You really get in that mindset to really understand your target market. So, here's an example. If a person comes to your website, let's see, maybe it's just from a link, whether it's on your Twitter profile or Facebook, whatever it is, they may not be ready to buy, but if you can get them to sign up maybe for a newsletter, I have a social media checklist on my site at stacykinney.com, and I have people sign up for that daily. So this way, now I can stay top of mind. I can increase the chances that they're going to become a customer somewhere down the line. Now, granted, I'm not going to send these people, sales messages, of course. That I'm not going to spam them and try to sell them. This whole method is attraction marketing. It's about educating. It's about providing value. There's a process to this. And when you can show that you have this expertise and this knowledge, you can attract your target market. In my case, somebody that really would like some help streamlining and being efficient and simplifying their life and their marketing efforts online, then I can do that. I work with people personally. I show them the tools and the systems and the strategies to achieve that. So not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to work with me. I'd be crazy to think that. But why not be able to attract that target market? And it's exactly what I do day in and day out. Now, developing a sales strategy, it's important. Have you ever heard of anybody being in business without having a strategy, a marketing plan, whatever? Maybe they have, but they weren't very successful. So you do need to do this. Your sales strategy is probably the most important thing, your marketing strategy to any business that you have out there. It's how you're going to get people to move through this process, through your sales funnel. The basic strategy should get people interested, really. Like what are you selling? Maybe they're even looking for it. They can't really tell. It's going to expose their needs, that pain, agitate that pain or that pleasure that they're looking for. You're going to match the needs with the product benefits. Identify and overcome their objections. And then you're going to ask for the sale. Guys, if you don't ask for the sale, you're never going to get it. And you have to redirect people who don't buy to a retention program. Example, like the newsletter, the opt-in, something that you're sending them to just keep kind of putting information in front of them. Now, I've already kind of given you enough examples, but this is one way that I do it too, because I'm very active on social media sites. But when it comes to my blog, I always encourage people to call me for a consultation. And then during this consultation, I discover the person's need and how I might be able to help them. So when they come to my blog, they may not want to buy or encouraged to, then they might be encouraged to sign up for that checklist and become, on my newsletter for regular updates and so forth. So this is how I did. It's always about a call to action as well. Play by the numbers. Well, I think we'd all agree sales is a numbers game, right? The more people you talk to, the more presentations you make, the more webinars you do, whatever it is, the more people you can talk to, the more likely you'll find someone to buy. So you have to develop as many sources of traffic and referrals as possible. Now, it used to be several years back, we weren't even talking about the internet and blogging and all this stuff. It was, let's go out to the local networking event. Let's go to the chamber event. This is how we did business. Now, I'm not saying don't do that. You absolutely need to continue that. But the internet and social media has changed the way that we do business in the world today. So having a blog and an online presence, I think, is absolutely critical. And learning how to distribute those articles, using the social media, advertising on websites, and just simply asking your current clients for referrals. But you have to take absolutely every opportunity to get your name in places, especially where your customers are frequent. And I'm just going to tell you now, for like my 2 or 3 years of experience online, and just today in this economy especially, it is very competitive out there. So you have to just do as many things as you can to be seen, to be heard, and to be known, and you have to stay top of mind with your customers and clients. You want to track how many people are buying your product versus how many people you come in contact with. So you always want to look for ways to increase the number of people you get to take action. It's like anything else. I just call it trial and error. You're kind of tweaking. You're saying, well, did this. Here's my sales funnel. Is this working? Well, hey, and then all of a sudden you've got these crazy numbers. Wow, something must be working. You've always got to be constantly improving. And you absolutely need to set SMART goals. Now, I think most people have probably heard of this, but if you haven't, what are SMART goals? Well, the S stands for specific, M for measurable, A is for achievable, and R is for realistic, T is for timed. It's not enough to just say that you want to earn, $1,000 per month. You have to detail out what it is that you need to do to achieve that goal. So here's an example. If you need to convince 100 people to spend $10 to get 100 people to buy, you must talk to 200 people every month. So you have to set a goal to talk to 200 people within the next 30 days. So you have to really write out and be specific about what you're going to do. You have to write your goals down and keep track of the actions you take towards your goals. And be very realistic about your abilities. I used to set goals that were very unrealistic. And the problem with that is if you don't even come close, you feel like, well, I failed at my goals or whatever it is. As a matter of fact, I'm not the best goal setting person. I have to constantly work on this and work on it and work on it. I know what my weaknesses are, and I'm not afraid to admit them to you and the whole world, because then, hopefully I can have some colleagues and friends help me. And I'm trying to do that too. And it's about finding the right team of people, which I'm very fortunate to work with an amazing group of people at my branding system, where we're really working to do that and hold each other accountable and set some goals that are realistic and work forward. And many of us work in very different fields, but we have the same goal, and that is to learn how to market and streamline and be efficient, everything that we do. You have to reward yourself when you achieve a goal. You absolutely need to do this because it's really important. Even little goals that you put down. Maybe it's a daily goal or a weekly goal, but you should reward yourself in some manner. Now, what are the traits of successful, or what does it take to be successful? And we're about to wrap up here, guys, so but just a few things, and I just feel like, I've learned this over a period of time, owning several traditional businesses, retail businesses, having overhead, having home businesses in my experience. But first and foremost, you have to be patient. You have to realize that no matter what business you're in, a lot of people are they're just not patient. They just want that now, that instant gratification. And that's not how it works in real business and success. It's a journey. It can take time. It's learning. You have to be willing to work hard. Okay, now you can work smart too, but you're going to work hard when you own your own business. Okay, and when you want to be, it's success. It wouldn't even just be owning your own business. Let me back up a minute. You could be working a job. You might have a goal to become director, to become president, CEO of that company, whatever it is you want to move up that ladder. Well, you've got to shine. Okay, you've got to look like the diamond above everybody else, the biggest diamond there. So you've got to be able to think hard as well and take consistent action. This is the biggest thing in my book, is the consistency. A lot of people say, oh, I'm going to go do this. Here's my goals. They do it for like a week or two. And I've honestly been guilty of that. I'm not going to lie. Work in progress. But I've now learned over the years, I've worked on my weaknesses, and I've learned in my business to be very consistent. And that's what you have to do. You have to plan the work, and work the plan. That's key. At the same time, and here's that little little loophole in there, whatever. At the same time, you've got to be flexible enough. So you might have this plan and you're going A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, wait a minute, Z. Or what? Or no, you got track, or you went back to A. What is it? You have to make adjustments. That's life. That's business. And especially in today's world where things are moving at light speed, and we've got the internet and social media and just more information, and you've got a worldwide connection, you've got to be flexible. Things are changing so fast. And you've got to continually hone your skills and your sales tactics. I can't even say that. Tactics. Excuse me. I'm constantly, when I'm not teaching and educating, I'm learning. I'm on other people's webinars. I'm reading this. I'm talking to resources. I'm constantly communicating with new people in my field, some of which probably think, well, why in the world do you want to talk with me? We're kind of in the same industry. Why? Because there's so much information out there. There's no way on earth I'm going to know it all. Let's help each other. Let's share ideas. Let's be a resource for one another. You have to do that. And then you've got to set small, achievable goals. This is going to help you get closer to that bigger goal. And I do this on a daily basis. I daily goals and my to-do list, and I love nothing more than checking that off. Like, I'm the kind of person, though, I honestly sometimes I just can't go to bed until I check everything off that list, because that was my goal for the day and I want to achieve it. If it doesn't, it rolls on, but by the end of the week I have certain priorities that I feel like they have to be done. And that's, and I feel good about it. I love it when I check that off my list. I love, achieving my goals and getting closer to that big goal. And I definitely think that's the way to do it. Small, achievable goals. So guys, that's it tonight. Actually, like 30 minutes, I think, right on the money there. So I appreciate your time. I always like to end with this slide. It's just fitting for the little flip-flops that I had on here and came up with. And a quote, every step you take in life will leave a lasting impression. I believe that as well when everything you do on the internet and social media, who you are, your brand, your message, these are just some things that I strive to be and want to be, showing gratitude, having integrity, teaching others, all of these things. This is just so important. I feel like you've got to know who you want to be, what your message is out there, and how you want to be perceived. So you can always find me at StaceyKinney.com. I'm more than happy to help you any way I can. You have any questions, just send me an email. And once again, it was brought to you by MyBrandingSystem.com, which I'm ecstatic to be a part of. It's a wonderful, wonderful system that helps so many people. And I look forward to having you on the call next month. Thank you.